Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar about digital personalization for footwear and leather goods. This session will start with me making a general overview about the digital personalization for footwear and leather goods, and then my colleague Margarida will provide a presentation regarding what we are doing at CTCP on this topic. Let me just share my screen. I think everyone is seeing, right? Okay. So first of all, the meaning of this webinar, valuing craftsmanship through digital personalization. As you know, in Portugal, we have a very traditional sector for footwear and leather goods, and the digital personalization tools are some of the tools that might add value to what we do here and what we do so well here. Okay. Okay. Is it? So as you know, personalization is being part of our lives for a while now, from the things that we buy and for example, Amazon doing the recommendations for what we are trying to buy, but also Netflix for the recommendations of series and shows that we might like, but also the learning and educational path that we might have highly personalized for my goals or each one goals, but also luxury goods such as cars and some accessories, also jewelry, as you can see, with high personalization items, and tote bags, for instance, in the fashion world. So it was just a question of time to arrive to the leather goods with some accessories, some bags, handbags, also some components for footwear, and of course the footwear itself, using both for casual use or in the sports use. To be honest, this is a trend for a while now. As you know, in the middle of the 19th century, the craft production was the one being doing, and then we advanced for the mass production, where mostly the Industrial Revolution leveraged this change, and changing from mass production specific on the automotive industry to mass customization, where you can choose some of the properties of your products. But what we are looking for the future is the mass personalization, where all the products are different from each other. So why to use digital personalization for the footwear and the leather goods? The first thing is to provide uniqueness on products, uniqueness on services, and the demand for relevance, but also to enhance the customer engagement, bringing brand loyalty and connection, interactive shopping, and especially exclusivity on the products that you use. Also, from the point of view of sales, you can increase the average order value to your products, reduce the returns, because once you are personalizing the products, it's less likely to get returns, because the consumer gets attached to the product. Also, the sell before making it, where you first sell and then you produce, where you can also increase the sustainability of the market, where you don't produce for just to be on the stores. You produce something that you already sold, and also increasing or to optimize the inventory in your entities, but also the optimization of the supply chain. But of course, not everything is good, and there are some limitations, mostly regarding the consumer data for privacy standards, and to protect sensitive information, because you are collecting a lot of data when you are trying to personalize a product, from the measurements, from the tastes of the consumer, what they do, what they like, and something that we are moving towards on the future is to protect all of this information, but also some limitations on the resources and capabilities, mostly regarding the technology that you need to make all of these products, especially if you are trying to promote the use of a broad range of technologies, as we are going to see in a while, but also trying to integrate all of these technologies and all of these orders with the production control. And if you are from a factory, you can imagine how difficult this is. But with the integration of all the digital tools and all the digital platforms that you can use, you might increase your capabilities, but also the budget consideration. You must realize once you are doing product by product fabrication, the cost for each product will increase because there's no mass production in this sense. So let's start here to distinguish between personalization and customization. So personalization is when the products are tailor-made for each person and they suit the needs of each individual. Customization is when the customer makes some choices that are defined by the seller. As you can see by example, you can go to a tailor and make a suit for yourself with all the measurements, and no one will have this kind of suit as well. And the other option is to go to a store and where you can choose the jacket and the rest of the suit and make some combinations regarding color, texture, even the design of the products. And this is something that at CTCP we distinguish a lot, because to make some personalized products is quite different from the customization side. And the differences started in the type of products that you can use. So for personalization, you will have highly personalized and unique products. With the customization, you might have some products that will be like each other. Also, from the point of view of the consumer, in the personalization, there's an active participation of the consumer regarding the design, the creation, some inputs for the design and the measurements. And in the other side, in the customization, the consumer will be selecting from predefined options that the seller provides. The type of products with personalization, you will have one-of-a-kind items, while for customization, you will have a more generic design, because if it is available for everyone, you never know that it might have someone else to choose the same kind of combinations. And regarding the production, it's a bigger challenge when you are doing some personalization at factory floor level, because you need to control really close the production and the production route. But on the other side, in the customization, there's more efficiency in the production, because you are somehow producing in mass production and not mass personalization. Another definitions that we like to distinguish is the aesthetic personalization and the functional one. So the aesthetic is purely for ornaments and to make a little bit more, I will say, beautiful for the consumer, as the taste of the consumer, but also from the functional side. For instance, for orthopedics, let's say insoles, where the insoles are tailor-made for the patient, where who might have the differences between the left foot and the right foot. So some of the digital personalization technologies that you might encounter for the footwear and leather goods, we choose a group of technologies that might have, or at least at this point, have more impact on the production, but also on the future and with the flexibility of production. So from stamping to embroidery, 3D printing, 3D scanning, and CAD, which are the 3D tools that are always integrated with each other, but also some of the ones that are being most used, like laser cutting and engraving, digital printing, even screen printing. So to provide some examples with the 3D scanning, you are able to develop the products by acquiring some data from your customer. In the 3D knitting, you can you can make some products with high personalized zones. For instance, if you have a recovery sock with different stitches densities, you can improve a lot the recovery of the patient. The 3D printing for highly personalized products. So in this example, it is a Spanish brand called Hatus. They make footwear for climbing, and for climbing, the foot must be really, really size to the size of the user. So, and they are producing this kind of footwear with selective laser sintering. And also CNC, where you can probably not make the final product, but making some tools for the personalization of your of the final product. And then we have some of the technologies a little bit more from the aesthetic point of view, with colors such as sublimation or and heat transfer technologies. Also screen printing, which is being used for a long, long time. And of course, digital printing, which we also have at CTCP, and Margarida will show some examples of this kind of products. The stamping for embossing and debossing processes. Embroidery for with color gradient for leathers, and even on this picture you can see it is the final product, which is quite nice, and it is easier to control on the production level. Pad printing also being used for with the final product, which is always an advantage. And of course, laser cutting and engraving, one of the technologies more well established on the sector. So regarding all of these technologies, we are going to try to answer some questions. This is probably not 100% true, because some of the technologies might have some variations, but you'll see in a while that it's in a general overview. So for non-planar object, if we are trying to personalize this kind of objects, let's say a sneaker that is already fabricated, you can use some of these technologies to do it. So as you saw on the images, embroidery, pad printing, even stamping or laser cutting and engraving, some of these technologies might appear as a challenge to do it so, but with the variations that we are looking for, you will be able to do it. So for the personalization itself with emboss, like for stamping and embroidery, where you can besides the color side, you can also make other textures. For color and personalization with color, we have also several technologies. And for the aesthetic, which are probably the most used ones, because this is the most easier one to do so. And also for the functional side, mostly with the orthopedic side, but this is a bigger challenge because you need to collect a lot of data for the production. So just to see some of the brands that we are looking for, Nike with the Nike ID, I think. They allow you to personalize on the website. This personalization is a little bit limited because you can only put some of the text, text like your name or whatever you want on the boots, but still it's a personalization side. For bands, they allow you to make your own pattern, and this pattern will be digital printed on the upper side of the band. So once again, you can make it as a customization where you combine some of the predefined textures that they have, or you can provide your own and make it highly personalized. A Portuguese brand, Diverge, which also allows you to make custom-made sneakers where you can choose from colors and different designs, combine it so, and they will produce after you buy it. Another Portuguese brand, Mensagem Blush, which allows you to use mostly digital printing and pad printing to personalize the products. And as you can see and you can imagine, this personalization is done after the object is fabricated, which is much more interesting from the production point of view. Of course, insoles for the functional part, there are several brands doing the personalization of this kind of components, but also with 3D printing, Zellerfeld, which is a German brand, they are using 3D printing based on filament extrusion. And what this brand is doing is that you can go to the website, you will buy it before they make it, and then just after you define what you want. This is more a costume side because you can also provide some designs, and for the creative people that are listening to me, you can design some of these shoes, put on their websites, and you will get some feedback from if they sell any. But also from the personalization, you can make your own smart fit footwear using your cell phone, and just after that they will produce this by 3D printing. But also big brands, big fashion brands such as Gucci, which allows you to personalize some of their articles, but also Louis Vuitton, they allow you, they have the to make some patterns on their products. Other brands, some Mopiel as well, allows you to use laser engraving or digital printing to personalize with their products. Of course, it's never like fully personalized, but you can just choose a small bit of personalization in these products. Regarding the future, this concept of hyper-personalization, where you start to use digital tools such as AI, combining with design tools. And this kind of products will reflect not only the measurements that you saw and the things that you saw before on this presentation, and they are more common, but also to reflect some of your values as consumer. For instance, the hyper-personalization concept allows you to also choose the materials and the source of the materials that you are using for your own footwear. This is the bigger challenge for the production side, but this is a trend. This is something that big brands are looking for, but only with the AI and machine learning tools will allow you to make this a not mass production, but to industrialize this kind of concepts. So the brands might offer costume sizing and fit as all of the technologies that we saw before mostly, and unique designs, but also, and this is the adding value of sustainable choices, but also ethic choices. So not only I told you about the materials that you can choose, but you can also choose the place where the products are fabricated. So all the sustainable and ethic concerns that you have will be reflected on the products that you will be using. And regarding the AI for hyper-personalization, these recommendation engines, it's a little bit strange, but they will keep track of all the sites that you see on the internet, all the products that you are looking for, and they will recommend new designs based on your tastes based on what you were searching before. Also, the try-ons, virtual try-ons with augmented reality, but also the AI assisted for design and manufacturing. This is something that is being already done, but with the hyper personalization, the speed of designing and manufacturing will be increased and much more suitable for each consumer. The main benefits are mostly the same ones as the digital personalization. reducing the returns and waste. So once you are doing personalized products, it's less likely for customer to return the products. But I will highlight the smart textiles and wearables tech, where you using the AI-based tools, they will not only select the materials for the textiles and for the wearables, but they also will define how the textiles and wearables will be done, improving the performance of the products by by itself. But of course, there are challenges. This will make the supply chain much more complex. There's a high initial investment on digital tools such as AI, the design, the CAD software integrated with the AI, of course, the e-commerce side and all the platforms where you are looking to sell your products. So all of this integration will be much more complex, and also will bring the high investment. And as we said before, the privacy concerns for the consumer information, and also the production time and flexibility. So you must to be aware that you are with this kind of concept, you are not step into a store and choose a pair of sneakers from the wall. You are going to a website or even a physical place, but they will collect your data, and you are expected to receive your products around 4 weeks. From my research, it is more or less the timing for personalized products. And most of the times we are not ready for this. We are ready to step into a store and step out already with the shoes on. So these are some of the challenges of hyper personalization, but it's something for the future, and is something, a concept that we are always looking for. So I think I speed up a little bit my presentation. I just finished. I will let Margarida make her own presentation regarding these technologies at CTCP, and then we will have space for Q&A. You can already write some of the questions that you might have on the chat, and the here, and I will control it and I will ask. So Margarida, if you are ready, you can start.
So, hi, I'm Margarida, and I'm going to talk about digital personalization here at CTCP. So, what we have, what we do, all that. So, okay, we are a technological center for footwear here in Portugal, and we support the footwear and leather goods sector. And we have many areas of activity, but today we're going to focus on innovation and digital fabrication, since it's where personalization is part of. So this is the team. It's Florbella, Pedro, me, and Daniela. And I'm going to show you a little bit of the space and the technologies that we have available regarding this digital personalization. So here is a little bit of the space. Not everything is, not all of the equipment is here, but you can have an idea. So the technologies that we have 3D printing, digital printing, laser cutting and engraving, an embroidery machine, and we also need softwares to aid all of the process of this digital fabrication. I'm going to speak a little bit of each. First of all, 3D printing. We have three main technologies. FFF printers, filament printers, very well known. And we also have not only the printers itself, but we can also make our own filament, whether it's recycling filament or creating new materials and our own filaments. We also have resin printers and powder-based an SLS 3D printer. To say that these three technologies are the main technologies used in the footwear sector, and these technologies or families of technologies that we know that around the world there are companies producing and commercializing products with it. And 3D printing is perfect for personalization of product. Regarding digital printing, we have a printer that prints in almost any substrate, whether it's leathers, textiles, not all of them, but we here test if it's possible or not. So a little video to show how it works. Basically, we have an image and then we can print it. We need to have a digital file, a digital image, and then we can print on top of, for example, an upper or other footwear components, and then it's stitched. We also have laser cutting and engraving. Basically, it's a laser that burns a little bit of the leather or the textile or the fabric, and it creates images. We, again, need to have a digital file, a digital image, and then we can personalize products, create new products, customize. Depending on the power, it can burn more or less and create gradients even of in the parts. Also, we have an embroidery machine, and with an aided part, it's a color reel. Color reel, it's the innovative part here, where we have a normal embroidery machine, and then we have a color reel that can paint a white thread, a single white thread, point by point, and create any color we want, and even gradients. And then when we embroider, we can create images like the ones you see there. This technology reduces waste, and we also don't need to have a stock of all the different colors. We can have just one white thread and paint it and have it just like here. You see, we choose the file. The file has a gradient, and we don't need many colors. We just need one white thread. So to create new images, it's also easier to program because we don't have to change a lot of the needles. So these are many of the softwares that we need to use for the personalization. For example, we have a lot of CAD softwares and slicing softwares that are more related to 3D printing, but we also have Mind, which is a visualization software for footwear to construct shoes, and we can also see personalized products with this software. Of course, we need graphic edition softwares like Illustrator, Photoshop, Corel, and each equipment also has a proper software to use. I'm going to mention some other technologies that we have. A thermoforming machine, for example, it's one that is very helpful for product creation, and a 3D scanner also to create personalized products. We can, here it's scanning a last, but we can also scan, for example, a foot and create something very personalized, functionally personalized. So I showed you what we have. Let me show you now what we do. We do a lot of research, demonstration, experimentation, and validation. We have ideas and we like to try and see if it's possible. We do work with students. We do thematic workshops. We work with the industry. We also give technical support, and we have training programs. So starting with our research and experimentation, I have here, for example, a printer that can put up to 5 materials in just one single object, in a single print. And here it's making an insole with different materials, and we can control the hardness and the elasticity of each part. And therefore we can create a highly personalized product to fix someone issue on the shoe, on the foot, or for comfort. You can also see here on the right a slipper, and this slipper was constructed around my foot scan. I scanned my foot, and then I created this slipper, and it only fits me, so it's highly personalized. Also, we test, for example, printing on top of fabric and on top of leather. We try to see what is possible and what isn't. Also, you can see some wallets that we 3D printed some parts and then stitched them together. And also we have an example here of stamping with 3D printing stamps to mark the leather. Yeah. So some works with schools and with students. We have all of these ideas that I showed you before and all of these technologies, and we try to challenge and partner with schools to challenge students to create new products. For example, students from art courses or design courses or product development, and we have all of these technologies to help them create something unique, something new, something personalized. And I'm going to show you some of the results of these works. For example, with 3D printing, sorry, you can see here on the brown shoe, this on the toe box, you can see that there is a 3D printed part that was stitched there. Also here on the black boot, you can see a part. It was an innovative idea that they had to replace the laces, and we found a way to 3D print the parts to place there. Also here, you can see that there is a mesh, a fabric that has the brand name 3D printed on top. It created a very unique looking shoe as well. And not only shoes, we also work with leather goods. So we have here an handbag with an accessory to open the bag. It also creates something very unique. Digital printing as well, we can just create a pattern, for example, here on the insole, but also to place a brand that the students created on top of the shoe. And again, bags to create some designs. With laser cutting and engraving, a key mostly engraving, for example, the students engrave the initials of their names, or to engrave as well a brand that they create, and also to give some personality to some of the bags here that you can see to match what they wanted to use. With embroidery here, we have several different designs and approaches. And also, I want to point out these two results here that were on a bag. The first one is a cat, the top right. It's a cat, it's a character that the student created. He designed it all. And then we, with the embroidery and the color reel, created this embroidery. And it was stitched on the bag, and it was very rewarding to see the final result. The student loved it. And also the handbag, where you can see that it opens up and you can see the tulips inside. It's also a very interesting idea. So we also do workshops here for people that are already working on the industry, or creative people, technical people from the shop floor that want to contact with these technologies. These workshops are thematic. Some of them focus on the technology parts, others on new materials, others on a specific type of shoe, and it creates very different results. So here with 3D printing, we have some accessories that were created to add to the shoe. And also on the top right, you can see a shoe that is blue and white. It has a piece on the upper that was fully 3D printed and then stitched. And on the bottom, you see a beige and white shoe. This is a very interesting result because the sole and the white parts on top of the neoprene sock are all 3D printed and then glued and stitched, and created something very different, very personalized to what they wanted to create. Here, digital printing. Once again, we can create patterns or just create, place a brand, and even place there a QR code, for example, to see more information. With laser cutting and engraving, once again, creating a brand, creating something personalized, create something that connects the person to the shoe. We have also some works with the industry. For example, here, this was a work where we wanted to personalize the leather with the different digital technologies, and we wanted to identify the suitable leather finishes, but also the printing and personalization parameters. And you can see here, we also test them to see, once again, what works, and what doesn't. This one was an experimentation of a multi-material 3D printing on a personalized insole. And we combined different materials, and here we combine different harnesses of TPU and also nylon filament. We also provide technical support to the industry. As you've seen before, we help you experiment ideas, but also selection, adoption, and implementation of these personalization technologies. And we have some guides and some technical guides for that you can read. I think they are mostly in Portuguese, but you can always take a look. It's about personalization of products, prototyping and product development, and cutting and laser engraving. There are more. These are some of the examples that I have here to show you. We also have a lot of training programs. Some are more general training programs. Others are tailor-made, and we can create something specific for the company that they want to see and to know more about. And also the workshops are always a place to train and for education. To say that soon, next week, we'll start a new training program about these technologies: digital printing, laser cutting and engraving, and embroidery, and then 3D printing technologies like the creating stamps to mark leather, 3D printing on top of leather, for example, or fabrics, and 3D printing components and then stitching them to a fabric. So this will start next week, so take a look around to see if it's interesting to you. Some of the trends and futures, that we are researching and looking around to see what's going on. Artificial intelligence, as Pedro said, the use of artificial intelligence for hyper-personalization is something that we are taking a look and paying attention, but also using artificial intelligence to generate new designs and see the inputs that we can and how we can create new designs. And we are always looking for new designs, new materials, new technologies to create always new products. And also, I think it's very important to look at virtual reality and augmented reality in the design process to integrate the client and the consumer with the product creation of something personalized. We have a personalization pilot unit, and it's growing with more technologies. We want to make more demonstration, more tests, and more validations. So we are here and ready to see your ideas. So this is what I have to show you. Thank you for your attention, and feel free to make questions, ask us anything. Yeah. Do we have any questions?
So while you are doing some of the writing some of the questions, let me just tell you that something that we are doing and the main messages of this webinar. So something that Margarida didn't mention on her presentation, but besides the fact that we are looking for new processes we are also trying to develop new processes. So we have several ideas, both for aesthetic personalization and for functional personalization. We are always looking for validation from the industrial part, but also from the creative people. And this is something that we are doing. The main messages to take home after this webinar are so the market is moving on for highly personalized products, and with these new tools as artificial intelligence and stuff like that, we are moving even faster in that direction. This is, I will say, our fault. I will put with brackets, but it's our fault as customers, because we are always looking for unique products for ourselves, right? And because of that, and as you saw, there's a broad range of technologies that you can use. Some of them, it might seem that they do the same thing. So something that we also help and support companies to do so is to, as Margarida said, in the selection of technologies. So for instance, we take in consideration what kind of personalization you want to do, if it is with color, without color, in what kind of products, at what stage in the production. If you have it already in your facilities, or if you need to hire someone to make for you. And this is the second big message, is because there's so many technologies, don't think that you should have all of them in your facilities. You just need to know that they exist and hire someone to work with and to partnership to make these kind of products. And finally, try it before you buy it. So this is something that we do in our unit pilot, is to validate technologies. And because we are introducing new materials to the market, even technologies already established in the sector, such as laser engraving, we always study if they are suitable for the new materials that we are introducing. I will just those are the main messages. Let me see what people are asking here. So, this is Mark Late asking for how can we help to provide, how can we help to develop a new concept in 3D printing space. So this is what I was just saying. We have this unit pilot. This is a result from a big project called Feist. In this space, companies are welcome to come here and to try materials, to try concepts, try designs. Of course, we will provide support, because you can go from people that knows nothing about this kind of technologies to people that already use this for a long time. But with our team and the different people that we have, we can support in all of the areas that you need. We don't have actually any designers. We have we are working on with the creative people in this area of personalization. So they were challenged to make some products using this kind of technologies and to personalize both from the aesthetic point of view and the functional point of view, and bringing the potentials of these technologies to the sector. So Marco, if you are looking to some support, just visit us and see what the resources that we have, the team that we have, and we can discuss how we can help both under a project or working as a partnership. Let me just, yes, so okay, so to Michael. Okay, Michael is a well-known name for us. So thank you for the the good presentation. So printing on textile and leathers, it's a challenge. Not all the technologies are suitable for, both from the point of view of the process and from the materials. So for instance, you need a good adherence between the printing material and the substrate. Otherwise, it will just split up and it will not work. But in this sense, and I will let Margarida also complete my answer because this is more from the her work on this. We can also uh, try to try to avoid these problems with printing strategies and design. So I don't know if Margarida wants to add something.
So when we try to print on top of leather, we only tried with the filament printers. And usually we have to decalibrate the bed. We need to lower, and not all of the 3D printers allow that. You need to find a printer that lets you decalibrate and but there are different strategies. It depends also on the substrate. If the substrate is more open, like a mesh, or if it's closed, like leather. So it depends also, in leathers, depends on the finishing process that it had. So there are a lot of different variables that we have to know and to control. And it's, you know, it's trial and error most of the time.
Just to complete this, what Margarida said, and because I just recall it, something that we are always also looking for, and because Michael just asked this, is to look for strategies to use other materials. So, for instance, to enhance the adherence between the 3D printed part and the textile, we might have to use some kind of glue, sustainable glue, because we don't want to glue everything, but just to keep it in place and try to improve the adherence and avoid the detach of the ornament from the textiles. So to Carol, asking to the possibilities to visit Portugal. Of course, you are more than welcome. I will just leave here our emails. You can contact us because CTCP is involved in several Erasmus Plus projects. It might be a work to do in some of those projects. So I will just leave my email here for you. Also from the responsible for innovation at CTCP. And for the responsible for Erasmus Plus projects. So Marco is asking for the biodegradable filament. I will let Margarida probably answer this because she is doing some work on that.
Yes, so regarding biodegradability, we are aware that in the market there is, for example, a compostable filament, and we are doing some tests with it. And when we are printing with filament, usually it's fully recyclable because it's a thermoplastic and we can fully recycle it. So I don't know if that answered the question. There are a lot of materials, but in the filaments we can most of the time recycle it. Yeah.
So also in this sense, to Marco, to use 100% recycled materials at any process, and 3D printing is no different from the others, is probably always a challenge. It is a challenge because every time that you recycle a material, you somehow change the thermal behavior of this material, and because 3D printing, the filament one, is a thermal-based process, you probably need to be doing a lot of tinkering on the parameters to 3D print it. So some of the times, even though it might seem not the best choice, but to mix with a new material will help you to control better the process itself. And because we should always look at the holistically to the process to say if it is sustainable or not. We need to know if even though the material is recycled, which is always great, if we are spending more energy, if we need more time, if we are making more waste of materials because of just adjusting parameters, probably in a holistic way, it's not as sustainable as we might thought. So we always do this kind of approach, and we always discuss this kind of strategies. And this is something that we are also looking for, is the recycle. I don't recall if Margarida um, mentioned on her presentation, but we also have an extruder to make the filaments. And in this extruder, we can make, and we did it before, for both tooling and final products with 100% recycled material as a limited use, but it is still working. And if it is for product development, the answer is it might work all every time, because you just need it to work once, right? Thank you, Marco. I don't know if anyone else has some question. I don't know if Margarida wants to add something. So I think we might finish here. It's 5 minutes to the final time. Feel welcome to contact us for both technologies in prototyping and personalization. Of course, this is a focus on personalization, but as Carol was asking to, if we also work with other schools and to make some of the training, of course we do. We always can demonstrate technologies. We can always experiment materials. We can always experiment new products. And this is something that we will always be doing. And feel free to contact us, to visit us. Thank you, everyone.